I'm going to talk about a topic today that is a word that when I mention it, some people's eyes glaze over and they start looking really bored. And that is quantum physics. And I'll tell you why it's so important. Because what quantum physics actually is understanding how particles behave. And this is a really simple concept, so just bear with me. I imagine if I had to describe it, there's this ocean of possibility around us, and if I were to see it with my eyes, it would be like little particles or electrons that are just floating around. If you imagine static in the air, it's just a sea of potential. It's a sea of possibilities, and it's just floating all around us. It's like being in the ocean. The thing that they've discovered, the scientists have discovered that when you look at a particle, it goes from a hazy state to a solid state, and it actually takes on a characteristic. So let's say I imagine something to be cold. The minute I observe something that's cold, I then am able to give it a name, and then that characteristic gets applied to an ice cream or a piece of ice, and then it's cold. So a particle only takes shape once it's observed, and it takes on the shape of what the observer has in their mind. Now, why I'm telling you this is because we always know what we don't want, but we don't actually know what we do want. And the reason why all the motivational speakers are talking about having goals and being focused and writing them down and doing vision boards is because they have made up in their mind a possibility that they would like to have happen. And until you create that possibility, that quantum particle doesn't actually take the shape of the possibility. So once you've seen what it is, you actually start channeling. So if you take all that energy around you in the air, it starts attracting like iron filings. Imagine you took a magnet and they all start pulling together, and it starts creating a shape. Now, depending on what you're magnetizing, you can either repel something by focusing on something else, because a magnet is facing the direction of what it's attracting, or repelling. So if you're turning away and you're looking at what you don't want, you're pushing away your dream rather than pulling it towards you. So all I want you to do is decide what it is you want. And let the sky be the limit. Your imagination, you could have whatever it is that you want in your mind. Just make a note and make a point of writing it down. And then you will actually start manifesting what it is that you've created, because you've turned a sea of hazy possibilities into something concrete. And once it's concrete and you've made it solid, you're then able to attract it. Very simple. So off you go. Go get some pictures, decide what car you want to drive, decide what fitness you want, what partner you'd like, where you want to be traveling to, and make it manifest, because you will never ever be able to create something out of a hazy state that remains hazy. Enjoy your day.